Hi everyone and welcome to Billy Fitzgerald Golf. And today we're going to discuss the difference between L to L and tipping the club. I had a question or comment about these two, and are they similar? Do you tip the club out with L to L? So basically similarities and differences in this. So we'll go over what they are first, and then we'll talk about how they're similar, how they're different. So L to L is basically, it's one of the biggest cornerstone drills that you can do. If I just take my club in my one hand here and I get the club pivoting and hinging, this is your biggest speed producer in the swing. It's not the one that requires the most effort, but it's the one, if I took that hinge away, it dramatically slows the club down. So this lever system right here, this L to L, is the biggest speed producer. Now, when we first start talking about or working with L to L, the very first thing I have to do is make sure my grip's on there right. So again, it's in the fingers of my left hand. It goes on top, and then I apply pressure, and my right hand goes on the side. So I create this lever. So L to L is done on both sides of my body. So my first L is over here. So it's when my left arm is parallel and the shaft's up. The club comes down, hits the ball. The momentum of the club comes back over here, and my right arm is parallel to the ground. I have another L over here, okay? So there's nothing happening with my body. It's basically in my hands. So I go L to L. So you can see how the club breaks right in front of my body. Now, even when I do this, you can see what's happening right here. Not much, okay? Because this has the farthest and the fastest to go. This doesn't have very much to go. And basically, it's just using my hands with L to L to get the feeling of it. Now, I'll feel that in the full swing, but when I'm just doing L to L, there's not much happening with my body, because first I have to train my hands and what the club is doing first. So if we did an L to L drill here, again, I get my hands on it first, and the club levers back over here. Now, it's important that you see this. Okay, so this angle right here. So I'm pushing off against the grip. So this is really important because it supplies the motion and the speed for the club to get all the way back over to this side of my body. So I don't want to feel like I have to make this thing rehinge on my own by pushing it. Now, if your body is out of place and this gets in front of this, it's going to be hard to try to get that club to move because you're dragging the handle. That's why with L to L, this doesn't move very much. So when we swing and we hit it, we go L to L. Okay, so not much happening with my body. I take the club back, I point the butt end to the grip to the ground, and I point the butt end to the grip to the ground over here. So it's just L to L. So it gives me a sensation of how these levers are working, how this club is moving faster than my body, how the grip is working. So it's really kind of the nucleus of the swing. It's what we build off of. Everything is built around that L to L. Now, when you get to tipping the club out, the club, and what is that? So if you haven't heard of this before, when the club swings in its arc, okay, so the club head is always moving away from the ball. So as I swing up, all the way up here, right? So the club head is always moving away from the ball. It's not going towards the ball. When my body changes direction, the club, because of where the weight of the club is, naturally wants to fall this way. Okay, so it would keep falling. So tipping the club out, all I'm doing is directing the momentum of the face of the club out towards the golf ball. Now, L to L is in there. Okay, there's those levers that are in there, but do you tip the club out when you do L to L? I don't think that it's very necessary. We want to keep it as simple as possible. Now, when tipping the club out, you certainly do feel that L to L because those levers are in the swing. But you need to be able to direct the face of the golf club towards the ball. Now, is it much? No. So what it's not, when you think about tipping the club out, when I swing back, I'm not coming over the top, I'm not casting from here. When I come up and change directions, right, the club is here and I just help it get momentum on the right track so the club can work on its arc and swing in front of me and rehinge over here. So now we'll do, you know, a slower swing of what it looks like when I tip the club out. Okay, so if I were to do a practice swing and I swing up, so the club, when I change directions, I feel my arms fall and I just guide the face out in front of me. So again, it's nothing that's very pronounced. It's not very big, but it's just, it's me getting the club face back on the right track. So it's basically, it's just a guiding of the club face, getting it back out in front of me, getting the momentum of the golf club back out in front of me as I change directions, so the club continues on the right arc and continues on the right track. So again, when you think about L to L, and I go L to L, because there's not a lot of body movement, because there's not a huge turn and change in direction. No, there's not really a tipping of the club with that. It's not very necessary. Again, when you're in that stage of L to L, if you're working on that, we're probably not ready for that tipping the club out. But those are the two big differences between L to L, tipping the club out. I had a question about it. So yes, L to L is going to be in your swing. You know, it's going to look a little different with a full swing. But do you tip the club out with L to L? I would say no, but L to L is in the full swing, combined with getting the club on the right track, which is tipping the club out. For more tips like these, or to schedule a live lesson, visit me at BillyFitzgeraldGolf.com.